Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another wonderful Technique Tuesday. Just a whisker early. Let's get those gadgets gadgeting before the Chaos Goblin takes over. Because you know it will. Come on, Magic Machine. It just needs to do the things. There you go. We are all alive and ready to make a super cute card tonight. Okay, so you are going to want a pen and a piece of paper because I'm hoping that this card will be one of your staples in your repertoire. I had so much fun making these. I have another sample somewhere on top of the one I'm making, but I've obviously put it somewhere safe. But I've got it. So I have an additional sample to show you at the end. That is what I'm going to try and tell you. So as always, say hello, say where you're watching from, and like I said, make sure you've got a pen and a piece of paper. I'll try and go slowly so that you can write stuff down, but you can always go back and rewatch this video. Remember that the videos don't stay here on Facebook. They get automatically deleted after a month, but you'll find all of my videos over on YouTube, so you can always go back and watch them there. Go and bookmark it. Make sure you leave a comment on them. I love to read them. Okay, so without further ado, there's lots of pieces in this card. We're going to work on it bit by bit, and that's okay. So the first bit we're going to work on is the front. All right, so this piece is 4 1/4 by 8 1/2. So for my Japanese friends, Yonten Nigo Kokeru Hachitengo, and it's scored at Yonten Nigo. So it forms a 4 1/4 or 4.25 by 4.25, so 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Yonten Nigo Kokeru Yonten Nigo Dozo Arigato Ashiteru. Okay, so that is my base, and I have a piece of the Brushwood Beauty. I am obsessed with this paper. I think it's so pretty. It has that very cottage core, shabby chic feel to it, which I'm absolutely in love with. And I'm going to use some very drippy, because it is nuclear hot up here in my workroom. For those of you who come and play with me regularly, Pam does. Hi Pam, I see you're on here. And Lisa and Victoria, you all know that when you walk up my staircase, you actually can feel the heat rising as you come up the stairs. It is toasty up here. I'm going to wait for that little bit to dry, and then I will just erase it with an eraser, an art eraser. Okay, so you're just going to center a 4 by 4 piece on top of your 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 card. Everybody good so far? All right, the next piece I have got is 3 3/4 by 2. So 3 3/4 by 2 inches. Sunten Nanago Kokeru ni inches dozo. And again, it's the paper, the Brushwood Beauty. I love this side. It's so pretty with that that sort of, it almost looks like acrylic paint. I'm actually going to lie this down. I'm not even going to stand it up. It doesn't need it. And I'm just going to put it with an equal distance on all sides, like so. All right, I have a piece of, this is very vanilla, but you could use white depending on the paper you use. And I had a customer at the weekend say, how do you choose your colors? On the back of every DSP pack, the Designer Series paper, it will tell you what colors there are in the pack. So hi Fiona, so look on the back and then use those colors of coordinating cardstock and ink to go with it. So this stamp set is what is it called? It is called Phrases and Frames. Here are the dies, and then these are the stamps. So I've already stamped the other words up. So I've put happiest birthday wishes, have a fabulous day is going to go on the inside. So I'm using Mossy Meadow ink because I have Mossy Meadow in this paper suite. I love it, this Brushwood Beauty. It just talks to me. Happiest birthday wishes. Okay, beautiful. All right, I'll clean that up in a minute. All right, I am going to put some 3D stamping dimensionals on the back, and because I have packed up my large ones because I have an event, we're going to use the little itty bitty ones, but that's okay. And we're only putting it against that top edge because you know we want it flat along the bottom so it looks like it's curled up and it'll give it some dimension. You know that's one of my favorite tricks to do. I'm just going to take the backing off these. So we only need it along that top edge, and like I said, I'm trying to not make this video too long, and I'm going to stick it down something like that in the middle, something like that. So obviously I didn't give you a paper piece size with this. This will depend on how long your sentiment is. If you've got a longer sentiment, obviously this piece of paper will have to be longer than the one I'm using, so that's why. All right, so the next two pieces I am going to tell you, these pieces are 1.5 inches by 2 inches, okay, and I'm going to put one there and I'm going to put one there, and there's going to be a gap in the middle, and the reason I'm putting them there is because this cream or white piece, whichever you want to use, will be about the halfway point up the edge. It'll all make sense in a minute. Okay, trust me, I'm a scrapbooker, I know what I'm doing. Okay, so I need to actually look at what I'm doing, so we're going to put it about there. I'm not measuring it, you don't need to. Alright, so one goes on one side, and then one goes on the other. And you want them to be level so they look like they're the same piece, like so. Okay, does this make sense? Yeah, can everybody see what I'm doing? So that's where we are so far. So you can see that raised top edge, but then this piece sticks the bottom down. Okay, these pieces are also 2 inches, and these are 1.25, so they are 1/4 of an inch smaller than the cardstock. And let's say I use Mossy Meadow cardstock because that's the colour in the paper suite. So this is Brushed with Beauty, and I did put up the reference number for you in the heading of this post. So if you want to get yours, you absolutely can. All right. So nice, easy little card so far, yes? All it is just pieces. And again, I'm going to just add that paper and just make sure that it's sitting at the same height as the other side. Good? All right. Give me some thumbs up. Am I going too fast? I hope I'm not. The next bit's going to take some time, but I'm hoping I'm not going too fast. Everybody good so far? Somebody tell me. All right. Oh, you're all very quiet out there in Facebook land. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to use some of this new ribbon. Look at this. Isn't it pretty? It's got a gold sparkle in it. Cream with a gold sparkle. Very, very pretty. Okay, so you know how to tie a bow so that the bow lies straight. Okay. So you're going to take your left hand side, fold it over the top and go under the right hand side. Okay, just hold it still in the middle. You can always adjust where it is in a minute. And then you're going to take that same end, and that's going to come up and go over the top of the other side and pull it across, and then your knot will lie flat like so. Right, I'm just going to take where are my scissors? See, this is what happens when I tidy up. I can't find anything. Please hold while we try to connect you. The cord is very important to us. Here we go. All right, and I'm going to just cut this at an angle, like so. Ooh, cute. Okay, and then I'm going to tie another bow, and you've seen me tie bows before, but I'll walk you through it again. Okay, so take your ribbon, make a loop. It's just like when you tie the laces on your sneakers or your tennis shoes. Okay, make a loop, hold it, go round. So I need to unravel more ribbon. Okay, go round, and then just poke the loop from the other side through, and it's going to look like that. The trick is to hold those loops at the back, and to tighten the bow, I am pulling the back of the bow. If I want to make these loops smaller, you pull the ends. But to tighten the knot, you pull from the back of the bow. Like so. Okay? And that will tighten your knot for you. Super easy. Those are a little long, but never mind. I'll just snip them off. And always tie a bow while it's still on the reel. Don't cut a length of ribbon and then tie a bow, because then you're going to end up trimming both ends and you waste it. This way, the only piece of ribbon I've wasted is that much. I don't care where you get your ribbon, well, I do care where you get your ribbon from, but wherever you buy your ribbon from, if you're wasting it, it becomes expensive, right? Obviously, I want you to get this ribbon because it's glorious. Okay, and then I'm actually going to stack that ribbon on top, and we're going to go in with the glue dots, all right? So we'll stick it to the back of that center section, and then one slightly to each side. Yes, I'm being generous with the glue dots because I don't want my bow to fall off. All right, so I'll just straighten those out just a whisker, and then make sure it's straight before I glue this piece down, because any of the glue dots may well, there we go, and we'll just stick it down, and now you've got this cute double bow. How cute is that? Do you like it? Yes, Sarah. This is what we need to hear, is yes, Sarah. Okay, I'm going to add some antique pearls, but we'll do that right at the very end. No, we'll do it now. Why not do it now? I've got them in my hand. I might as well just add them. Here, I've got a packet that's already open. Okay, so here we go with the antique pearls, because they add, I love the different sizes in these. You slide them to the edge of your sheet, put your hand on top of them, and then you can just glue it straight down. Well, you can if your fingernail doesn't get in the way. That's it. Hang on. Please hold. We try to connect you. A piece of fluff on it or something. There we go. All right, and then we'll do another big one here. Just pop it down, and there we go. Look how pretty that is. Like it? Okay, so that's the outside. Let me just move the pearls out the way. All right, so now let's make the inside, the bit that does all the foo-foo-la-la-ing, the popping up and all the fun stuff. Okay, let me just clear some space. Okay, here we come in with the Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, all right? So, I have a piece of cardstock. You'll need a pencil as well, all right? I have a piece of cardstock, and this is 4 inches by 8 inches. So, yon inches, kokeru, hachi inches, 4 by 8. And I'm going to score it at 4 inches. It doesn't get any easier than this, right? So, you're just scoring it in half, okay? Everybody good with that? So, you're then going to put it into your paper trimmer, and I like to slide my paper, and I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. I'm going to slide it up so it's almost level with the edge of this paper guide, because this is where all the measurements are. And then I'm just going to take my pencil, yes, thank you. And I'm just going to draw a little dot at 2 inches and a little dot at 6 inches. Okay, I'm going to turn it around the other way, and then again measure down the 2-inch mark and the 6-inch mark. All right, then I'm going to put my paper in my paper trimmer. So here is the one mark on the one side, and then there is the mark the other side, and you just basically line up those little marks in the gutter of where your blade would go, and then you just score it. Okay, and then do the same thing the other way. All right, it's nice and easy. It's not a difficult card. This card looks really difficult, and it really isn't. And once you've done one, you'll be making this one over and over again. So now I have my center fold, and then I have 2 diagonal folds, okay? So when these fold in, it looks like a little house, okay? So This one will fold in, and I'm being a little bit careful with it. Okay, you can burnish these folds easily. Okay, the more time you open it and turn it, open it and close it, the better it works. Okay, so there's my little house. Does everybody get that? Yes? Talk to me. Give me some thumbs up if that all works well. So you need a little house. So if you remember, it's 4 inches by 8. You score it at 4, and then you measure down 2 inches and 6 inches. So basically this is 2 inches and this is 2 inches, and then the same the other side, and then you score it in a crisscross pattern. Yes? Oh, I've got 1 lonely little thumbs up. Oh, 2 lonely little thumbs up. Here we go. Perfect. Right. Okay, we haven't finished with our paper trimmer yet. Okay, I have 2 pieces of paper. Okay, these are 3 3/4 square, 3 3/4, Sunten Nanago. So 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, 3.75 by 3.75, however you want to say it. Okay, to try and find the center point is a pain in the neck. So this is the easiest way to do it. We are going to fold it, and then I'm going to take my pencil, and I'm just going to make a little mark on the back of the paper, all right? And I'm going to do this on 3 sides. It doesn't matter which 3 sides. It's a square, Pam Dirth. That's right, it's a standing joke with poor Pam when it comes to a square. And we love her for it, and she loves me for teasing her. Okay, so I know those pencil marks are there. They're difficult to see, I know. So just pinch it gently. Okay, I need to do it in front of me, apparently, because old lady eyesight. Now, if your pattern, well, I'll cut it and I'll explain it in a minute. My pattern is non-directional. Hang on, we need to get that one correct. My pattern is non-directional. If you have a directional pattern, this will make a difference, okay? Because we're going to cut off 2 pieces so that it fits that space there. So I'm using a non-directional side. So if I cut off these 2 corners and these two corners, it doesn't matter. It's non-directional. But if my paper was that way, I would need to cut off these 2 corners and these 2 corners. Does that make sense? So I specifically did not use a directional paper on this example. On my next example I did, so I'll show you what I mean. But on this paper it is non-directional because I'm using this side. Does that make sense? Give me some thumbs up. So check the direction of your paper if you need to, because you're going to be cutting off the bottom of one and the top of the other. Yes? Right. Okay, let's just, without further ado, just like we did before, we're going to line up the marks. She says. And then if you put it up against that one, it should, bada bing, bada boom, be the right size. Yes, ma'am. Love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so let's cut one off. There's my mark. And on patterned paper, I used a pencil. You could use a ballpoint pen if you have dark coloured cardstock, or you can use a white gel pen. Okay, so there we have it. We have our 2 little houses. That's the hardest bit. Okay, everybody good with that? Yes? You're all super quiet. Do I have any comments? I don't. Okay, everybody's just sitting back amazed. I know. All right, here we go. Let's stick this down. And I'm using a permanent adhesive. You could use tear tape. You could use a fine tip glue. whichever you prefer, and that will then fit there just like so. Love it when a plan comes together. If there's a scrapbooking guard, this piece will fit the whole. We had a whole discussion with my team the other day that if there was a scrapbooking guard, what would his name be? That kept me awake for hours. My ADHD went totally squirrel. The Chaos Goblin took over. All right, so we have this piece. Right, we now have 4 pieces of 2.5 by 2.5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Neat and go, Kokero, neat and go. 2.5 by 2.5. On top of that, we are going to put a square that is 2.25 by 2.25. And on top of 2 of those, we're going to put 2-inch squares of paper. All right? And then on the other 2, we're going to put cardstock. But I'm just going to assemble these squares right now and get the pieces out the way because I'm drowning in bits of cardstock. Right? So all of this paper, as I say, comes from the pack. And this is a great way if you've been making scrapbook pages and you've got some paper left over. This is a great way of using those odd little pieces because there is nothing in the way of paper here that is bigger than a 4x4. Cardstock, yes, you've got some large, you've got a standard cardstock width of 8.5 by the 4.25. And then an 8x4 for this, but the rest of it, there is nothing bigger than a 4x4 square. So that's a really nice way of using up those little bits and pieces that you have left. So, okay, let me just glue these 2 pieces down. Talk amongst yourselves, I'm nearly done. There were a lot of pieces. Just be grateful I didn't make you sit through all the stamping as well. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, so I have a white square to go on one piece. Or, sorry, this is very vanilla, not white, but whatever colour you're using. And that would be for your sentiment. Okay, and I've already gone ahead and stamped "Have a Fabulous Day," and you can see it's stamped on the diagonal on that square. All right, okay, so this one is going to fit there like that. So let's glue it down. Now, do you have to have 3 layers for these squares? No. Of course you don't. I did because it looks nice. Because it's Sarah. Okay. So we'll put one there. Have a fabulous day. And then we'll put this one, which is the blank one, at the bottom, so you can write your message. How cute is that? Okay. Liking it. All right. So this is where the magic comes, and you have to be a little bit. I'm going to explain it a couple of times. Okay, so you can see we have these 2 triangles. I'm going to glue one to this triangle here, but you can't glue it up to the fold line. You're going to line up the edges of the square with the edges of your card base. And that point there will line up with that score line, that center score line there. So it's going to have a slight gap around those folds. Does that make sense? Can you see? I'm trying to hold it up so that you can see it and still keep it on the camera. So you can see where my folds are. If I fold them back the opposite way. And then the corners will line up with the edge of the piece. Does that make sense? Somebody tell me if it makes sense. Hopefully it will. I hope it does. Hello, Victoria. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to put a line of adhesive well in from that diagonal line. I'm going to keep it towards the edge So that is where my adhesive is, and I hope you can see it shining in the light. Okay, so I'm going to glue that piece like so, and this is why I'm using the liquid glue, because you've got a bit of wiggle room. Okay, so I've only glued it to that top triangle, not the bottom triangle. And then this one, we're going to do the same thing, but this time we're gluing it to that bottom half. Okay, let's put the lid on that and get that out of the way. All right. And again, that this Tombow glue gives me a bit of wiggle room to adjust it. Okay, and I'm just going to let that sit a second because I am wanting, when I can find my glue, my adhesive pouch, okay, I am going to use on the back of this, I'm going to flip it over because I want it to glue. All right, I am going to, scissors, use the tear tape. Okay, and you're only going to stick it around the house, not on these triangles. Okay, so you can cut this, you can, I love the tear tape because you can tear it. Okay, so I'm just going around the houses. Okay, there's you know, my nails are long, even though I have them cut shorter today, they're still long, and I don't always have the leverage. Okay, and I'm doing it this side because hopefully you can then see, because the tear tape is white against the very vanilla cardstock. I'll hold this up in just a second so that you can see it. Because I'm trying to give this adhesive a little time to dry. Okay, where's my burnishing tool? Here we go. This is a trick for when you're using tear tape. Always take your burnishing tool and just burnish it. That way it means that top layer will peel off so much easier. Okay, so that's just our little tool. All right, I'm going to use the pick tool for this. Okay, so here is my card. So when I fold it and it folds in, bada bing, bada boom, it all folds in like that. Is that the neatest? So you don't want to use any 3D foam tape on any of these layers, because if you do, it will catch and it won't close. Okay, it's pretty bulky as it is, so you're going to need to have this hand cancelled at the post office, or you just hand deliver it. Okay, so I'm going to take the tear tape off the back section first. I'm going to use my weeding gadget from the with the Take-A-Pick tool. If you don't have this gadget, then girls and guys, you need it in your life. It is fabulous. Okay. Right, so that is super sticky. And with the tear tape, you are a one and done job with this. Where it goes is staying. Do not try and lift it up. Okay, so I'm giving it an equal distance at the bottom and the sides, which means that there is going to be a gap at the top between that and the hinge. You need to, because you've got so much bulk of cardstock here. We've got all of those different squares with 3 layers, plus all of the paper. So yeah, and then this side, we're going to take it off again. Look how easy that comes off when you've burnished those paper, that tape down. I have to get a thermometer up here to see just how hot it is. It's probably 90 plus in here. Okay, just make sure that your ribbon is in the right place, because this adhesive here is going to help hold it down. And all I'm going to do is I am just going to close the card on top of it. Okay, that's all I'm doing. All right, let's get rid of the garbage. And let's not throw my lid away. Put it on before I lose it, shall we? Oh, Chaos Goblin was well and truly controlled tonight, wasn't it? So are we ready with our card? When you open it up, there you go. Isn't that so pretty? I love it. I'm super happy with it. So like I said, this is Brushed with Beauty, and I told you that I'd made another one as well. I made this one, and I'm just trying to find the rest of the paper to tell you the name of the paper suite correctly, so that I get the names right. This one is called Lily, no it's not, it's called Valley in Bloom. So this is the Lily of the Valley paper, and it's called Valley in Bloom. Isn't that the best? And again, this is perfect for using up scraps of cardstock, because this is the large and paper, because this is the largest piece of paper at 4 inches square. I think it's so pretty. You like them? So there you go. I hope you made copious notes and that you'll go ahead and make one of your own. I used some little silvery stars that I had left over from a project, and that's the beauty of this. You can just mix and match your embellishments with whatever you're making. So I hope you love it. I'm going to go ahead and post this video on YouTube right now, and I will see you next Tuesday with another fabulous Technique Tuesday. Stay cool wherever in the world you're watching from. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.